Hello friends, you are seeing me first time here. Previously I gave some technical videos of games and other technical facts and blah blah blah. But for the first time I am presenting NEET or AIMS or any other medical entrance examinations NCRT book analysis. For easygoing, or you can say for the first chapter, I have selected the reproduction in organisms of class 12, the first chapter, and I think I have mentioned some important facts which would be very much important for you, and you must have not noticed some of that. So, here is now below, and I request two people to mention some good facts about which you liked about my video. And one important thing is I have mentioned one question also in the video. Please answer that question if you know. I'm not telling you if you don't know then please also answer. No, not that. But if you know the answer and if you really want to answer, please answer the question below in the comment section. And here I mention you one thing. Please take your NCERT book aside. I will give you some important points also which I would request you to note in the NCERT book sides where you can see the white side and in the NCERT book. Please note there. And बस इतना ही. और अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि मैं हिंदी में क्यों बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बस ऐसे ही चल रहा है, इंग्लिश में सब बात करने की परंपरा चल रही है. बट अगर आप चाहते हैं मैं हिंदी में बात करूं, हिंदी में बोलूं नेक्स्ट वीडियो से, तो कमेंट में वो भी मेंशन कर सकते हैं आप, ताकि मैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो से हिंदी में ही बात करूंगा. यार इंडिया से हूँ, हिंदी हमारी मातृभाषा है, हिंदी में बात करने में कुछ नहीं जाता है, मस्त लगता है. मैं आप लोग के लिए क्वेश्चन भी प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ. प्रिपेयर करके मैं अपडेट करके इस वीडियो को छोड़ने के ठीक 15 मिनट बाद मैं एक क्वेश्चन भी अपडेट कर दूंगा उसमें, और मैं आंसर्स उसके सबसे लास्ट पेज में होंगे. मैं चाहता हूँ आप ट्राई करें, इट विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू इन द एग्जाम्स. बस इतना ही. ओके, चलिए कंटिन्यू करते हैं वीडियो. देखिए कैसा लगता है, मेंशन करेंगे मुझे लेकिन. ओके, so let's start with the first chapter of class 12, reproduction in organisms. In this chapter, the first line, or you can say the first sentence which I found important is, here you can see it's written, why do we say there is no natural death in single cell organisms? No individual is immortal except single celled organisms. I repeat here, single celled organisms, here it means are immortal. They do not die. The actual process is, one single cell organism divides by asexual reproduction. Means the parent is only one and it divides into two daughter cells. Means the parent doesn't die, rather it lives in two new other cells. This we say the daughter cells, and thus they are alive, they are immortal. Exception is thus they can die if we give it a heat, cooled, or other man-made things to make them dead. But naturally they do not die. So it's okay. Let's go to the next point. In this page you can see that there are some animals and some edges are missing and some are given. In this the most important I found is of the parrot. It's 140 years, and in respect to this the crow has only 15 years. These things mainly comes in questions. Please I repeat this, note this, because these questions come frequently. Not now, but in 2006, 7 and 8 these questions came. That crow 15 years, parrot 140 years, the comparison the same has size, but difference in age. One more thing you can note here is mayfly lives for only one day. I repeat, mayfly lives for only one day. It's very much uncommon that it lives only one day, but it comes in questions. Now let's go to the next page. Here I found something. It's written: the organism's habitat, its internal physiology, and several other factors are collectively responsible for how it reproduces. Please note this as important. The question may arise that except this factor they will give one and tell the questions, frame the question as which one is incorrect. This question may come. And meanwhile, I have a question for you. I want you to answer me in a comment section. The question is, here it is written, there is a cycle of birth, growth and death. You can see, thus there is a cycle of birth, growth and death. My question is, the same organism, birth, growth and death, but that organism doesn't again regenerates or birth. Then how can we tell it a cycle? Are you getting my question? Organism 1 taken birth, grows and he dies. The organism 1 doesn't take birth again according to science. So how can science tell it a cycle? If you know the answer, please go to the comment section, answer me as question number 1's answer. Fine? Okay, so next proceed to the so let's proceed. Going to the next page. Here I found this one as important. It's written here. In yeast, the division is unequal and small buds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell, which eventually gets separated and mature into new yeast organisms. The division is unequal is important. Unequal, remember, in yeast the division is unequal, not equal. And small buds are produced, and this thing you can understand because unequal means one will be big and one will be small. The other is the most common of the structures are zoospores that are usually microscopic motile structures. Remember, most common of these are zoospores in fungi, algae. Getting it? Getting the point? The most common is zoospores. This questions is very much coming in the competitive exams, and it's a trending question in the coaching institutes nowadays. The most common of these, okay, and these are microscopic motile structures. Other commons are Conidia penicillium, you know this, birds hydra and gemule sponge. Gemule sponge is important because it's related to animal kingdom part. Okay, so go to the next page. Here I found the important diagram is this one. C 1.4 sieve. Getting it? The bulbil of agave. It's again a very important question. It comes generally. Leaves of biophyllum. It's also important, but it's a general question, so you must know this. And rhizome of ginger. You also must be knowing this. And offsets of water hyacinth. Good question. You must remember this. And here you can see these structures are vegetative propagules. Obviously, since the formation of this structure did not involve two parents, the process involved is asexual. So, vegetative propagation is also a sexual mode of reproduction. Remember this, it may come. One more important thing is in here you can see in plants the units of vegetative propagation such as runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, observe, bud, etc. Blah 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 blah. This is not important, but what is important is examples of these. And the examples of these you will find in the 11th class book of morphology chapter, morphology in flowering plants. I will make a video on that chapter also, but for now it will be good for you and it will be more preparedness of your course is just write the examples here with giving an arrow, that rhizome, ginger, sucker, etc, etc, what's it is, runner, grasses, bulb, onion, offset, water hyacinth, etc. And all the examples given in NCERT you can write here, so that more practice, what we can say, more practice is good for exam. Okay, so let's proceed to the next. So by proceeding next, I got this one more important thing, the terror of Bengal, water hyacinth. Generally the question framed by the examiners is terror of Bengal, and they gave the scientific name of water hyacinth. So you must have the knowledge of scientific name of the organisms given in NCERT book. For example, water hyacinth scientific name is Acornia crassipes. Acornia crassipes. Okay. And one more thing, if I miss some scientific names, I request you to Google it. Okay. Or if you want me to tell you, please make me note in the comment section. The other things which I found important here are, you can see it's a question. How are you aware about plants sugarcane, banana, ginger, dahlia cultivated? And you have seen some emerging plant potato tuber. The fact which they want to tell is rhizomes are modified stem. Please note. Make an I've told you to take a notebook, or you can write in the NCERT book side also. Rhizomes are modified stem, dahlia, or and all the other things which are written, potato, sugarcane, banana, ginger, dahlia, all these are cultivated from rhizomes. Okay, the banana also, banana, ginger, getting it. The most important here is dahlia, banana, sugarcane. Okay, potato, ginger, you have seen, but sugarcane, banana, and dahlia also are cultivated from rhizomes and buds. Dahlia is rhizome, remember. Okay, fine. The one more important thing is, you can see here, you will notice that the inquiry arises from nodes present in the modified stems of these plants. When the nodes come in contact with dams or water, they produce roots and new plants. Similarly, adventitious roots arise from notches present in the margins of leaves bryophyllum. This you can mark as important. Bryophyllum's asexual reproduction is by leaves, small leaves. In the diagram you can see the NCERT book diagram. Okay, let me show you here. This is a bryophyllum leaf, and these are small leaves arising from bryophyllum again. One another thing important, or not bit that important, but it may come in exam, is, note this, bryophyllum leaves are also used for treatment of cough and cold. Okay, they can twist the questions, and you know what they can do. Another important thing is the period of growth is called the juvenile phase. Many do wrong these questions. Okay, please note the period of growth is called the juvenile phase. It is known as the vegetative phase also, but not the reproductive phase. After this phase comes the reproductive phase. Okay. The important one more thing is, here you can see a few plants exhibit unusual flowering phenomena. Some of them, such as bamboo species, flower only once in their lifetime. These are generally called as annuals. I'm giving you a chart, don't worry. Generally after 50 to 100 years, produce large number of fruits and die. It's important. They after the fruiting they die. Another plant, Strobelus kunthiana Neelrakunji, flowers once in 12 years. As you know, the important is they will flower again in 2018 November, means this year in the November month, October to November. It varies, October to November or December, these 3 months. The point you note is biennial means the plant who gives flowers or fruits for 2 seasons. They flowers twice during their lifespan. Annuals flower only once in their lifespan. Perennial are regrows in every spring or in the season they prefers, mostly spring. Example is mango and others. Another important in the same page is the reproductive phase is also of variable duration in different organisms. Getting it? The reproductive phase is also of variable duration in different organisms. Okay. Here another important thing is in non-primate mammals like cows, sheep, rats, deer, dogs, etc. cycle changes during reproduction is called oestrus cycle. Whereas in primates, monkeys, apes and humans it is called menstrual cycle. It's noteworthy, okay? In these animals it's called oestrus cycle, and these like humans also it's menstrual cycle. It generally is menstrual cycle occurs in each season in that is a period of 28 days or approximately, but oestrus cycle occurs in specific seasons only. Here you can see many mammals, especially in living, exhibit such cycle only during favorable seasons in their breeding phase. Then, therefore, are called seasonal breeders. It's noteworthy, the seasonal breeders. Okay, many other reproductive. It's important. Many other animals active throughout the reproductive phase and also called continuous breeders. Humans fall under continuous breeders. That is, so go to the next page. Here, those who have read NCERT book many times, they could find this word concomitant, what it means and others. It means simultaneous, that's co-occurrence. There are simultaneous changes in the body like slowing metabolism etc. during the last phase of lifespan. Old age ultimately leads to death. Okay. So the important here is in both plants and animals, hormones are responsible for the transitions between and three phases. Okay, between the three phases, hormones are responsible in both plants and animals. Animals, you know, but in plants also it works. Okay. So now next important part is related to this diagram. I'm not telling the diagrams are important, but I think I've not noticed here given are examples that A isogametes, cladophore and alga. B is fucus and alga. Its fucus comes in brown alga. Okay, cladophore are green alga. These are important. These are extremely important. This comes in exams. fucus, heterogametes Homo sapiens, isogametes Cladophora. These are extremely important questions. I refer this may come in 2019. Okay, because the question makers are going into the Ncert book nowadays and they are just what I can say. The final fact is these may come in exams. Okay, just go through this. Okay, the important another thing is homogametes, isogametes. A gamete indistinguishable in form, size or behavior from another with which it can unite to form zygote. This is the main definition of isogametes. I repeat, a gamete indistinguishable in form, size or behavior from another with which it can unite to form zygote. Okay, and the other thing is male gamete is also called anthrozoid or sperm, anthrozoid or sperm. Okay, and one thing important in this chapter I found, it's not given in the NCERT but it's important, is the difference between monoecious and dioecious and bisexual and unisexual and relation between them. I'm giving you a good example. Let's take a plant. When we define it as a plant, we should mention it is monoecious or dioecious. The whole plant. I'm taking up the whole plant, not the flower. Okay, the whole plant. When we're talking about the whole plant, it must be monoecious or dioecious. Monoecious means in one body both the sexes are present, and in dioecious the two sexes are present in two bodies. Okay, getting the difference? Now come to the one flower of that plant. The flower must be unisexual or bisexual, because unisexual, one type of parents, bisexual two types of parents. So you are getting the difference. When it's the whole plant, it's monoecious or dioecious. When it's a single flower of that plant, it's unisexual or bisexual. I have made one code when I was studying like you people. I made one code MOBI, MOBI, monoecious, bisexual. When the monoecious factor comes, when the plant is monoecious, the flowers must be bisexual. Okay, so I just made the code MOBI, MOBI. You can cut it from mobile. I just coded MOBI, MOBI, MOBI. MO for monoecious and BI for bisexual. Okay, one more important thing here is unisexual male flower is called staminate, bearing stamens, while the female is called pistillate, bearing pistils. Here it is given monoecious, dioecious, but they have not mentioned it clearly. But I've told you. Now you're clear, I think. Fine. Let's go to the next. It's a good example. Cockroach is an example of unisexual species. Remember it. It may come. Okay. Then one more important. It's, you can say, very important is uh, this diagram. It's a diagram of monoecious plant chara. You can see here, see monoecious plant chara. The important is above it is ogonium, female sex organ. Remember this part. It may come in aims as a marking question, the labeling question. The downward part is antheridium. Okay, remember this. The upper part is ogonium, female sex organ, and lower part is antheridium. It's male sex organ. This much is important in this all the diagrams. Okay. Okay, one another thing I will be mentioning in the diagram section of 11th class, but here I also mention it. The difference between these female thallus and male thallus of Markensia plant. These are dioecious. Archegoniopore, the female thallus has completely round. See the difference. Male, it's something curved. It's completely circular. Okay, feel the difference. It may come as a diagram question that identify the male or identify the female. Okay, so proceed to the next part. In this diagram, I found important sum, not the all. Okay, you must know this. The human beings what it's 46 and 23 is given, and the rat here it's 21 means it would be 42. You know the method that if it is 2n, then half of it will be n, and if it's given n, then double of it will be 2n. N to n, you just multiply 2 or divide 2. You must be knowing this. But I'm telling the important names. It's human beings, rat, ophioglosum. It's very important. It has the highest chromosome number. Okay, it's 1260. Okay, it's very important. Then potato, it's 48, and onion, it's 16. Rest, if you want, you can remember, but this much you must go through it. Okay. So the next is important one is in several plants, simple plants like algae, bryophytes, and pteridophytes, water is the medium through which the gamete transfer takes place. Okay. It's important. So coming with the next page, the important is there the word syngamy. Don't worry, I will discuss it in the double fertilization part of the next chapter, that is sexual reproduction of plants. Here, the thing I would mention important is some organisms like rotifers, honeybees, and even some lizards, birds, turkey, the female gamete undergoes development to form new organisms without fertilization. This phenomenon is called parthenogenesis. Turkey, the bird, lizards, honeybees, rotifers, these also undergo parthenogenesis. The bird's turkey, it's very important. Okay, very important. The bird turkey also undergoes parthenogenesis. And other thing is the major disadvantage of is that the offspring are extremely vulnerable to predators threatening on their survival after development. It is given about external fertilization. Okay, external fertilization. The disadvantage is they are vulnerable to predators. It must be because you know why. Here, the one important other question is zygote is the vital link that ensures continuity of species between organisms of one generation to the next. This time, this question also came in the exam. There is the connecting link zygote. So it's an important question. Another important thing which I found is this diagram. Here, these greens are the seed. These gaps between the greens are the seeds, and these are pericarp. We generally confuse as these greens as seeds, but it's not. The filling spaces between these greens are seeds, and this whole is pericarp. So this much important things, and in please do not miss the summary. It is very important for AIMS exams. Okay, all the summaries is biology, points to ponder of physics and chemistry. Do not miss these are extremely important. For example, you can see zoospores and corynea etc. most common ancestral structures formed by several algae and fungi. This question generally comes again. Budding and gemule formation are the most common ancestral methods in animals. These two lines are extremely important. These whole three lines are extremely important for you guys.